Jesus.
Are you deaf? I said, who is this and what is it doing in my bathroom?
Of course it's yours.
I did what?
Obviously had no business doing, and now she's pregnant.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Omo. That's the word for this episode. Ife is pregnant. And that's not the only thing. See, as you're watching this, put your hand on your chest. Put your hand on your chest and say, Father Lord, may I not bring pain to my family member. May I not be the reason my family member moves around with a broken heart. May I not cause destruction in the life of my family member, either as a sibling, a parent, or anything. Omo.
Don't be like
Listen, I am in so much confusion when it comes to this particular episode talking about this drama series, Just Us Girls. It's how everybody is just moving crazy in this particular episode. Have you seen? Let's talk about it. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Lucy's Quick One, talking the drama series Just Us Girls season 3 episode 6. The plot thickens, confusion is everywhere. I will start with Ife. Now, first of all, I really want to say thank you to all those who have been watching this drama series and who have been watching my reviews and dropping their comments. I am very grateful. In case you are very new here, please join the party. Do not forget to subscribe down there, and of course, drop your comments as we speak. This episode, we need to talk about it. We need to have a heart-to-heart discussion. So we start off with Ife from last week, episode 5, right? We already know that Ife had sex with Kay, and it's very interesting to see the comments who were dropping. Some people were very angry with Ife, saying that she should have known better, like what is her problem. Some other people were saying, you know what, I have experienced this before, so we all make mistakes. So while everybody was talking about mistake, even somebody sent me an email saying that I need to tell Ife that, girl, you are young, you've made your mistake, move on from me, because as you grow older, you definitely will be making more mistakes. And I was like, definitely, I understand it. Like, as you grow older, you will make more mistakes. Only for us to come to episode 6 to find out that the mistake that Ife made was not just a mistake, but a costly mistake, an expensive mistake. We are introduced to Ife in episode 6, laying down. Guys, I need your help. Ife is laying down with Moni, her friend, and then she's like, sorry, everything. was like, what's happening here? Only for Yamina to come in, and she's like, looking at the way you are, you might be pregnant. I was like, okay. And then she goes to have the test done in her toilet, comes out, and then she's revealing to Moni that, babe, I'm actually pregnant. I was like, hey. Whoa. At 17, the girl that just clocked 17 is already pregnant. So she and Moni were talking about what are we going to do now. Koinsola comes in because, of course, Yamina, the broadcaster, has told Koinsola that, see, this girl is around, Yakikere is around, so Smolly is around, the small boss is around. And then Koinsola rushes in and says, you should have come to the hospital if something was wrong with you. She's like, I'll be fine and everything. Koinsola goes to the restroom. Now, the test kits, the pack of the test kits that Ife uses to find out whether or not she's pregnant was still in the restroom. Koinsola gets in there, comes out very furious. She's like, which one of you just used this test kit? They were looking. Tension begins to rise. I think with every episode, I get to see Koinsola's different character or a different personality when it comes to Koinsola. She kept on asking, like, which one of you, I said, used this test kit? And then she was like, Ife did. And then he was like, what's going on here? Ife says she's pregnant. Koinsola said, preg what? I said, Nant. Preg what? I said, Nant, auntie. She said, preg what? I said, auntie, she is pregnant. She's pregnant. Don't you understand pregnancy? With that anger, Koinsola takes Moni and Ife to school to go and confront Kay. Even before that time, Moni had already seen Kay and she had already chastised him and said, you took advantage of Ife and all of that. And Kay was like, no, she also took advantage of me. Remember the time she would take me out to make Jermaine jealous and everything. So Now I'm having my pound of flesh. Why are you angry? So now Koinsola has taken Ife and money to go and see Kay. And Kay's like, I don't know what you're talking about. There's no proof to show that I had sex with Ife. It's the denial for me. The girl started to cry. She's like, I hate you, and storms out and gets home. Now we are home, of course, now this information has to get to Ameh and Jite. They come into our room and they were very angry. Like, Ife, why would you make such a mistake? Why would you do this? Why would you do that? Ameh is talking. Koinsola is saying, okay, everybody calm down. Jite is like, why would you do this? Immediately, out of anger, she's like, Ife is like, everybody stop. What is it? What's the problem? All of you are to blame for my pregnancy. I said, all of you are to be blamed for my pregnancy. The only person that told me the right things to do, the only person that, was there for me, the only person that advised me is Moni. Each one of you have a hand in this pregnancy. I was like, Ife, explain. Ife faces Ameh. She says, Ameh, remember when I was telling you about liking a boy, and remember when I was telling you about sex or asking you about sex? What did you do? You bound and you cast. You were like, I rebuke the evil spirits in your body in Jesus' name. I cancel, I bind. Don't bring such topics to me anymore. Did you advise me? No. She turns to Jite. Jite was like, Asmoli, are you cray? And then Ife was like, Auntie Jite, you two are not left out of the situation. Because number one, you are sleeping with a guy, which was Sammy. You were going to his house to sleep, to stay with a guy that you are not married to. That's one. Two, you are now going with a married man, somebody else's husband. Jite was like, I don't understand. Did I ever come to you to tell you that, girl, do this thing? She was like, no, it's not about what you say. It's actually about what you do. I'm coming on. She now turns to Koinsola and said, Auntie Koin, definitely, you would have been the best person to advise me. Your life would have been one that I would like to emulate. But unfortunately, Auntie Koin, you can't even stand up for what is right. You can't even fight for what you believe in. So how do you expect me to, come to you to tell you that these are the things I'm going through, looking at the fact that you have a lot of problems already in your own life, and that you will not even pay attention to my own life and the things that are happening in it? And I was like, okay. Now, guys, in as much as Ife made some very clear points, one thing I learned over the years is that God will never give you a cross that you cannot carry. Of course, these ladies, Ameh, Jite, Koinsola, have their fault in the whole thing because they failed to guide this girl. They forgot that they had a child with them and they were living their lives anyhow, right? In as much as that was happening, God blessed Ife with a very good friend called Moni. So why is it that Ife was stubborn to listen to that blessing that God gave her called Moni? Because Moni was warning her. Moni advised her, said, girl, leave men alone. Let us focus on books. But Ife was adamant. She refused. She allowed her feelings to take charge of the whole situation. Now everybody looking for who to blame because all the girls were shouting at each other, fighting. Because Ameh was like, you know what? If she is old enough to open her legs for a man, of course she should be old enough to also bear the consequences of her actions. And Jite was like, why are we talking like this? Like, you're very judgmental. You don't even have a clean slate. But don't worry, we'll find out very soon. Koinsola was trying to douse the entire situation when it comes to the fighting. Later on, Ife storms out. She leaves the space and then she's out. And I'm like, okay. So they start looking for Ife. They called Jay. They were like, hey Jay, do you know where Ife is? I mean, it's like, I'm confused. Why are we bringing Jay into the situation? You see what I'm saying? Like, everybody is so engrossed in their own lives and their own situations that they could not see or understand what was happening to that young girl, who also somehow was just carried away with the fact that she was in love with a particular guy. Now we move forward to where Ife was. Jay finds Ife saying that he had his friends track her and then he finds her. She hugs him, she's crying. Later on, she now decides to blame Jay again. I'm like, Ife, something must be wrong with you. She was blaming Jay, saying that, if only he accepted her love and everything, this would have not been a situation. Jay had to tell her, see, in the nearest future, you will thank me for what I did, because if I were to ever be with you, I will be going to jail. If was like, no, I don't care, and everything. And Jay is like, okay. He didn't know at that point in time that this girl was pregnant, but the moment he finds out, Jay too is livid. Jay is angry, goes to the house. It's like, how is it that all of you girls were in this house when this girl went astray? And he made a very valid point, which Ife was trying to buttress earlier. He said when this all happened, when Ife found out that she was in love with him, when Ife was bold enough to tell him that, see, I like you, Koinsola, I came to you, or you found out, and I told you, please handle the situation. Did you handle the situation? No, you did not. You just left it. Because of all the girls in that house, Koinsola knew that Ife liked Jay. And when she found out, she confronted Jay and left Ife out of it. Like, she had a conversation briefly and left Ife. There was never a follow-up. There was never anything. There was even a time when Ife was having a conversation with Ameh when Jay brought in his friend to the house, and he was like, oh, that girl is not even fine. At that point, Ameh should have said, why are you saying she's not fine? Instead of saying, oh, do you think so? Everybody really did turn a blind eye, but somehow I still stand on the fact that despite all this, right, Ife had a good friend to advise her, but she refused to take that advice. Everybody is throwing blames. We move on from that. Then everybody, we don't know what to do. Nobody knows what to do. Koinsola takes the situation to her mother, who of course is Ife's auntie. That one too is angry. She's confused. She's livid. She's like, how would this happen now? No, we have to take out that baby. We have to abort this pregnancy. Koinsola said, no, it's not going to happen. I was like, Koinsola, why are you saying so? Only for us to find out that history was repeating itself, in the sense that Koinsola at the age of 16 also had to have an abortion. And she's like, Mom, this happened to me. It will not happen to Ife without her parents' consent. And I was like, wait, everybody hold up. Like, this plot that is getting very thick. Let everybody calm down. I was like, wait. Koinsola was like, Mom, that experience was really traumatizing for me. We cannot allow Ife go through that. Then Koinsola's mom was like, I do not understand. I helped you. I think that probably when, Koinsola had sex and then she got pregnant at the age of 16, maybe the guy was not willing to accept the pregnancy. And at that point, guys, it brought me to the realization that maybe this is the reason Koinsola's mom is the way she is. She probably does not trust the judgment of Koinsola based off of past experiences, and because Koinsola has that guilt in her, she is not able to face her mom. She's not able to confront her mom and stand for what she wants, because somehow she probably does not even know what she wants. Somehow she's still suffering from her past, and that's why she allowed her mom to push her to Tomiwa and leave Muna. And I was like, oh, okay, I understand now. Now at the end of the day, Koinsola's mom had to give in to Koinsola with the fact that, you know what, we're going to tell her parents. And I can't even imagine how Ife's mom is going to react to all of this in the next episode. Now, the whole blame game is going around, but honestly, who are we going to blame for Ife's pregnancy? Is it K? Is it Ameh? Is it Jite with her lifestyle? Is it Koinsola? Is it even Jermaine or Ife herself? I would like to know in the comment section. Now, that is on one hand. But guys, moving on to the second part, or the second person.
My beloved brother, they finish school.
Since when I have been watching this drama series called Just Us Girls, I have never, I repeat, I have never been this emotional. I cried. Nah. Even remembering now, I'm getting teary. Let's talk about this lady again called Jite. Now, at the beginning of this episode, guys, I see Jite angry. She's at a restaurant. She sees her brother Tega with his girlfriend Njideka. Now, in case you do not know, Njideka from last season was a help or assistant to Jite, and she was trying to help Jite promote her business, saying that she has to do more of online collaborations, she has to get things for cheaper prices and all of that. But unfortunately, that didn't go well because Jite got scammed of millions of naira when it comes to her business. That's on one hand. And then secondly, also in the last season, when Jite Njideka goes out to supermarket, she sees Jite's boyfriend Sammy with another girl, comes into the shop to tell Jite that, see, your guy is cheating on you. And then Jite goes there, causes a scene. Unfortunately, that was Sammy's cousin, and that was one of the reasons at the end of the day their relationship didn't work out. So Jite is seeing her brother Tega, the one who she loves the most, her sibling that she loves the most, with this lady called Njideka. She's like, what's happening here? You can never be with this girl. Njideka goes on to apologize, is begging her. Tega is like, I love this girl and everything. They fight about the situation, and then she's like, no. Jite is like, over her dead body will she allow her brother Tega date or even marry this girl called Njideka. Later on, Jite is talking to her friend Sandra about the entire situation with Ife and how Ife is pregnant. And Sandra is like, I've been married for a year now, and up to now I'm not pregnant. Look at this girl. She just tried this once and then she's already pregnant. Like, life is not balanced. And I'm like, of course, the fingers are never equal. Then later on, as they were talking, Sandra reveals to Jite that today is the graduation of her brother Tega. She's like, I don't understand. Like, he didn't tell me. That's not even possible. She was like, oh, okay, because we had a disagreement. Is that the reason? Tega will not tell me that he's graduating from school. This is a guy that I have been paying his school fees from year 1 up to year 6. So why would he not tell me he's graduating? Then Sandra was like, she also has a cousin who is also there, or a nephew or a niece that is also there. So let's go together to celebrate with these guys. And they go. Ladies and gentlemen, tell me why Jite gets to that school, sees everybody jubilating, and she's looking for her brother. She's like, I'm looking for my brother Tega. And they're like, do you know who Tega is? She shows these guys the picture of her brother. We were like, oh, lollipop, he's not here. She's like, I don't understand. What do you mean by he's not here? He said, he's not here. Before we knew what was happening, we are seeing Jite at home, like her mom's house. I'm seeing Tega on the floor, crying profusely, and her mom too on the floor. I'm like, I'm confused. What's happening here? Only for Jite to ask Tega, what's going on? Why did you not graduate today? Tega is like, I want to explain. There was a time when you blocked all the family members and everything. Mom needed money. Our siblings had not yet paid their school fees and everything. So the money you gave me to pay my school fees, I gave to them because mom said she didn't have money to eat and there was a lot of hardship at home. So I couldn't come to tell you. So instead, I decided to sacrifice my school fees for them. And because I couldn't come to tell you that this is what I did, I decided to see how I will be able to get money to pay my school fees, to offset my bills. So I decided to sit in for somebody and write the person's exam for the person in exchange for cash. She said, like, I don't understand. So what happened? So he was saying that while he was writing the exam for this person, he was caught and then rusticated from school. Jite lost it. This scene deserves an Oscar.
6 years! 6 years of hard work. So by the time everything we say everything don't go.
The way Jite and Tega were crying. It's one thing for you to be crying and sweating like the way Ife was, like when she went to meet Kay to tell him that she was pregnant and everything. But when you cry and then there is mucus coming from your nose and a lot of saliva coming from your mouth, you will know that the depth of pain that you are going through at that point, it can kill you. Jite was, her heart was shattered, grounded to the ground because of all her siblings, guys. Of all her siblings, Tega is the one sibling that she loves the most. Tega is that sibling that she swore, that she promised that in as much as she did not get an education, this boy will have an education. This boy will have a better future than she is having. This boy will live better than she is living. Only for the whole 6 years to go down the drain when the final lap came and everything crumbled. My mom is always telling me that, the last second of the last minute of anything is always very dangerous or very sensitive. So you always have to be careful. So at that point, Jite's mom had the mind to say, it's your fault. Everybody was just blaming everybody. It's your fault. Like, I told you, you're very hot-tempered. If only you didn't block us, Tega would not have to sacrifice his money to give to us. And Jite is like, Mom, if I disrespect you, I say, girl, disrespect her. She said, Mom, don't let me disrespect you. I say, Jite, I'm telling you, me, disrespect her. How would you collect money from your son knowing that he has nothing to do? He's not working. How is it that you are collecting money from him and your conscience is happy and fine with it? And she's like, I am enjoying the fruit of my labor. You see that word? This is a message to parents who feel entitled. Number one, no child was asked to be brought into the world. So please do not let life be unbearable for your child. A lot of parents have pushed their children to do things that they are not meant to do because they are always asking, they are always in need of one thing or the other. And the annoying thing is that sometimes these parents are not doing anything. You're just sitting down believing that you are old and you can't do anything. You're not helping your child. So we have children between the ages of even 12, 16, even though you're even 18, 19, 20, going into things that they're not meant to go into because their parents are entitled and they just believe that it's time for me to enjoy the fruit of my labor. What labor? Jite's mom was like, I was enjoying the fruit of my labor. Jite was like, Mom, enjoying the fruit of your labor. That's the reason you sent me at the age of 14 to go out there and be sleeping with an old man. She was like, in that time, 14-year-olds were getting married. Oh God. You see why I said Omo? I was like, I didn't know whether to support Jite's mom or to give her a very interesting and delicious slap on her head. Because on one hand, in her time, this would have been right. If she had probably told her mates who grew up the way she did, this would have been right. But it's always good for people to move with the times, right? And that's why they always say that, relationship, marriage, being a parent is not a child's job. It's not child's play. It takes a lot. You have to literally grow with the times and grow with that child. So Jite's mom was like, people were getting married at that age, so it was not a big deal. Like, I'm still saying it's your hot temper and everything. Jite was just shattered, and her brother too knew that he had broken the trust, he had destroyed the love, he had gone overboard, and ended everything that his sister had worked for by getting rusticated from school. He lay down on the floor, he was crying, he was wailing. Jite was crying because all the 6 years of hard work, everything is gone. I was just screaming throughout this episode. I was crying because somehow, whether we like it or not, your life might be cool, but this is the reality of somebody else. I thank God, and I really have to give it to the producers, the director, Pastor Mildred, everybody, the entire team, for bringing this kind of drama series to the fore. Because I always say it on every episode when I give my review that it might not be your reality, but these things definitely happen. I do not know how Jite and her brother are going to come back from this, if she's going to forgive him, because somehow it feels like she has been plagued with this family of hers while she's trying to see if she can even live a life. At some point in the episode, we find out that Otumba is even getting Jite her own house. He didn't rent the house, he bought the house for Jite. And while Jite is still trying to understand whether or not she's doing the right thing and she has decided that okay, she wants to take care of herself, it seems like her family would always be that clog in the wheel of her progress, of her even growing, whether or not there is an Otumba. And I really don't know, when it comes to this place of entitlement with family members, where should the line be drawn? Even the Bible says it that children should obey their parents, respect them, but that same Bible also wants parents not to push their children to resentment or rebellion. But that is exactly what Jite's mom is doing from episode 1 up until now, from season 1 up until now. And I'm wondering, like, how? I would like to know what you think about this whole situation in the comment section. Somehow I even feel that Ife might go ahead and do something very irrational before her mom finds out. She might even opt for an abortion before her mom finds out. She might do something very drastic, and I'm here to see what's going to happen. But for those who have probably experienced such things, or for people who have heard stories, like, what would your advice be to Ife, and what would your advice be to Jite and this family of hers? Cause again, guys, it choke. That's it, guys, when it comes to this particular episode 6, season 3. I got you with more right here on this channel. Till next time, remember to enjoy every moment. Mwah.